This episode is brought to you by the Fitzroy Art Collective, the heart of Melbourne's art scene. Coming to you from the colourful and smoky stage of the internet, this is the Melodramatics. Three insane minds discussing all things theatre. Now, shookers, and let's start the show! Hi guys, and welcome to the Melodramatics. I'm your host, Benji Rag, the Coca-Cola of the Melodramatics, here with the Pepsi, Lauren Hargate, and with the tap water from Flint, Michigan, Dia Taylor.
Ah, there we go. Hello.
How are we doing, Gay? How are we doing?
We should do a poll for our viewers to see who is their favourite person, you, me, or Dia. And I reckon Dia's going to get more votes than you.
I hope so. That would be nice.
You see, though, if we, do a poll, we actually, need fans.
You can just vote for yourself 5 times if it makes you feel better.
You know, I have 3 housemates, so I've already got 3 fans, so, you know.
Me too.
Yeah, oh, shit, well.
Leading a cat.
We're equal footing here.
So, Dia, you were enlightening us about what you do in isolation. Please tell us.
Oh, you prick. What I do in isolation is I just, stay by myself and keep out of everyone's way. I don't do anything awkward. I don't want to be. That's all I do.
You don't always shit your pants?
Well, as Shrek says, it's better out than
they're making fun
say.
of me because just before we started rolling, I was talking about how I've been fighting a lot lately. Because, I don't have anyone to impress. So I'm like, and my housemates have literally seen the worst of me. So, if I shit myself, they'll be like, oh, not again.
Well, you don't think Alexander Hamilton shat himself a few times?
You know what? I'm sure he did.
Those horse rides were hard and long.
Oh.
I mean, we've all been babies.
Exactly. Some of us just continue it onto adulthood.
I just imagine him, pulling out the dueling pistol and going, wait a second, can I go to the toilet first, actually, before we do this? Yeah.
Do you remember that thing that J.K. Rowling said recently about Harry Potter and, before they had toilets, they would just, shit their pants and then just magic the shit away?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah.
I always wonder if J.K. Rowling has always been this crazy, or if, now the money is just getting to her.
Well, with absolute money comes absolute insanity.
Maybe she's just like, you know what, nah, screw it, I can say all the insane homeless things I thought of.
I mean, she's not that transphobic. You know what, I'm not going to mention that.
Guess what?
What?
Since we last spoke, I got a whole year older.
That's right.
Happy
Shit,
birthday.
I thought I dreamt that. Happy birthday, Lauren.
Thank you for telling me a week later.
Sorry, I saw it. I'm like, I'm going to say happy birthday to her. And then I passed out. And then I woke up and I was like, it's just a dream. And so, happy birthday. Woo! Lauren is now 18.
Yeah.
Again. No, you youthful bummer.
So guys, I thought for this episode it'd be fun
this
because
face.
between the 3 of us, we have all done some theatre performances. Yeah?
I thought you were going to say we've done some stupid stuff.
You know what?
that
We've
too.
done both, yeah.
Yeah. I thought, because we have a collective knowledge of theatre,
Uh-oh.
that we could answer some interesting sort of trivia about theatre. Mainly I was watching a YouTuber, and she's very smart on theatre, and we're not. It is
As
weird
last
we
week
have a podcast where we
proved.
talk about theatre, but we have no idea.
Well, I mean, you guys are more knowledgeable than me. I haven't done theatre since
Have no
2012.
I thought The Avengers was a musical.
You know what? It could be one day. It could be.
I'm surprised it's not.
It should be.
Anything can happen.
Give
We
it
could
time.
make it a musical.
Yes, with all our funds, for sure.
I would want to see the Hulk, doing a solo song.
Oh, God, no. Why?
We could change a few characters.
Like what?
I think Tony Stark should be gay.
Gay. And what about Pepper Potts? What happens to her?
She can be a lesbian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there should be more, gay characters in the
How come there isn't any
MCU.
gay? Off the top of my head, I can't think of one major, character who's gay.
Well, there you go, listeners. Are there any gay characters in the MCU or DCU at all?
Alright, so, let's get into this. So I will be asking the question,
And Lauren and Dia will have to agree on an answer because it's multiple choice. And I'm not going to make fun of myself on this.
Oh god.
But
Okay.
we can make fun of you.
Well, yes.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we have a very easy question for the both of you to start off with, to sort of get you into the mood. Which composer and lyricist penned the music for Into the Woods,
Lyricist?
Follies and Company?
Was it Lin-Manuel Miranda?
No, it wasn't.
Which composer and lyricist penned the music for Into the Woods, Follies and the Company? Richard Rogers, Stephen Sondheim.
The what?
What was the third one?
Oh, for God's sake.
Ah, yeah. It's the middle one.
Stephen Sondheim.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so too. Is it Stephen Sondheim?
Let me go through the other answers.
Okay. Excited. I'm
Andrew Lloyd-
excited.
Yeah, me too.
Andrew Lloyd Webber or Stephen Schwartz? Schultz? Whatever his name is. We're not knowledgeable.
I would say Sondheim.
Are you agreeing with that, Lauren?
Yeah, but now you've said Andrew Lloyd Webber. I wonder if it's him.
Well, no, it wasn't him. It was not
Alright,
him.
let's go our original
You don't
answer.
think Andrew Lloyd Webber could do this? I think Andrew Lloyd Webber
No.
could do this.
I hated Into the Woods. I'm sorry.
Aw,
Oh, so
that's
just because you
good.
hate it, that means Andrew Lloyd Webber did it.
Well, I hate all of no. It means he didn't do it.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Sondheim.
Alright, I'm going to go with him. You guys are correct. And, oh god, he
Woo!
Yay!
looks like he's wearing each one of those years.
This is what you get when you answer the question before Benny is even finished. You get it
Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
Alright, so guys, I want you to picture a stage.
Yeah.
Guys, got it in your head? Any stage. Doesn't matter. Dear, what sort of stage are you picturing?
Like I don't know, a normal one. I don't.
Uncultured swine. Lauren,
What?
what stage are you picturing?
I feel like I have to change my answer now.
Was it also a normal one?
I was thinking Her Majesty's Theatre, that kind
Beautiful.
of big grand
Wonderful.
stage.
That's lovely. When an actor moves upstage, are they moving closer or further away from the audience?
When they move off stage
Upstage.
or upstage.
Closer.
Closer.
Very good. No, further away. Shit.
I was about to say, I
What?
think we just got that wrong.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's opposite.
What the figure?
Forwards is
Great.
downstage.
Good job, guys. Good job. It's downstage that's closer to
Yeah.
the audience.
Yeah. Gets me every time.
Lauren, you should know this one.
I know.
Maybe the reason you didn't get it is because like you're thinking of our stage, our traverse stage. And that's the reason.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly why I got it wrong.
But she actually got it right if you think about it.
Yeah. I one time saw a performance where they had a pool in the middle.
A pool in the middle.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
try
cool.
working out that up and down stage.
Oh
Is
god.
this for like Great Gatsby or something?
No. Who first starred as Jenna in The Waitress on Broadway? Sarah Bellies,
No.
Betsy Wolfe,
She wrote it.
Catherine McPhee, Jessie Mueller.
Jessie Mueller.
It was Jessie Mueller, was it?
Whatever Lauren says, yes.
Dear, I'm going to need you to tell me which one you reckon it is.
Jesse Mueller?
Okay, I was just hoping you would say some of the names wrong. That is correct.
And by the way, it's Sarah Bareilles, not whatever you butchered her name with.
Whatever her name was.
She
Oh, okay.
wrote the music, but she's not performing it. Yeah, she wrote all the music of
I
Waitress.
don't wanna write you a love song if
Yeah.
you need... Oh,
And
shit.
did you know that Jessie Mueller was actually nominated for a Tony Award for Best Performance in
I probably did know that.
2016? Because I know these things.
I don't
And,
even know who she is.
I was going to say Jason Mraz, but no, he didn't play the male role. I don't know.
Which musical is this lyric from? This diva needs her stage. Baby, let's have fun. Rent. Next to Normal. Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
It's Rent.
Spring Awakening.
I've seen none of those, so I'm gonna follow Lauren and say
Wow.
Rent.
I haven't seen half of them, but I'm pretty sure it's Rent.
Alright, I'll throw it in because it's been years since I've seen it. But I think it's actually Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
That sounds so familiar.
That would sort of sit well with the musicals. It's about a drag.
Because
queen.
I'm pretty sure I know what song it's from. Stop the suspense. Tell us if we're
is
right.
it?
Where are we going, Lauren? Which one?
It's Rent. I said it.
Okay,
I'm running-
it was Rent.
Sticking to my guns. Yeah,
Hey,
thank you.
Lauren was right. I don't know what's going
What
on.
was the name of the song?
Where am I?
I don't know the song, but it's like two chicks are singing to each other.
The song was "Take Me or Leave Me,"
Yeah,
not two
that's
chicks
it.
singing
Yeah.
together.
I was telling you the context.
Okay, here's a good one.
What I am.
And
Sorry, it's a really good song.
all right, Which of these movies has not been turned into a Broadway musical? Elf, Bring It On, Ghost, or Home Alone? And I actually know the answer to this.
Elf. Oh, actually, or is it Home Alone?
Is it Home Alone?
Maybe it's Bring It On.
No, Bring It On's a musical.
I know, I want to watch it.
And Ghost is too. So, what do we say? Elf?
Ghost is a boring musical.
Or Home Alone?
I'm gonna go Home Alone.
Alright, let's look in Home Alone.
It is Home Alone. Which is weird because out of like Home Alone and Elf, I would think that like Home Alone would be the easiest.
Yeah, but it's
Not really.
No, because you have to set up all
Pretty
the
complex.
traps.
Just
and...
build a house.
Oh, okay.
Do it as a site-specific
I'm like, what are you going to
performance
sing
in a
about? Well,
house.
as Elf is like based on Christmas. Do you sing Christmas songs?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but apparently it's a thing. So there you go.
Mm.
I want to
Got
watch
a
it.
nice
I want
picture
to
of
look it up now.
Joe Pesci there looking at me. Audra McDonald won her first Tony Award for playing which role? Sarah in Ragtime, Marie-Christine Lardress in Marie-Christine, Carrie Pippenridge Snow in Carousel, Sharon Greyhound in Masterclass.
I will leave this one up to Lauren.
What was the first option again?
I was going to say, I actually do know the answer to this, despite me butchering all their names.
Okay, it's Marie. Marie.
You gonna go
what
Marie?
did you said, let's go Marie.
Naughty, nope, it's wrong. It was Carousel. Carrie and Carousel.
Well, there
I don't
you
know
go.
any of them, so. Are they from like 1920s?
No, this was from 1994.
Well, it was still before I was born.
Yeah, because you're 18.
It's before I was born too, Benny.
I don't
You're
think
20.
that's true.
Hey.
You're a blood-sucking vampire who's lived throughout the ages.
I thought that was you.
No, my friends keep saying I'm a vampire, but I mean it's only half true. Mostly about the blood sucking.
Which actor has starred in two of these musicals on Broadway? Little Mermaid and Les Mis. Billy Porter, Branda Vixer Dixon, Joshua Henry, Norm Lewis.
God damn it! I actually know another actor who starred in both, which is Sierra Burgess.
Yep.
She starred in both, but I don't know the others.
Lauren, what do you feel like on this one?
Norm Lewis.
I'm going to say I like Norm Lewis. It's a good, strong name. Dia, what are you feeling? Are you in agreement with Norm Lewis?
I don't know any of the actors. All I know is that Sierra Burgess
Beautiful,
was in
Norm
both.
Lewis. And we were correct. Holy shit!
Hey. Woo!
I think I've heard his name like once before, so I
That's a strong,
Wild
good
stab.
name.
I'm going to say the Joshua guy.
We'll have to do a lot of theatre research, clearly. I have to go to Broadway and West End and
People might actually think we do
Study.
research before this
Yeah,
show.
I'm not very knowledgeable in the Broadway area. I'm not very knowledgeable at all, I just pretend.
just pretend. Lauren!
We'll cut that out.
No, don't.
we'll
Leave it in.
We'll see.
Don't you cut a second of that.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Phantom's mask in Phantom
Phantom's
of the
mask
Opera.
in Phantom of the Opera was
It's
custom
white.
made.
It's white.
Is that all?
Yeah, yes, that's the question. That's the question. Yeah. My answer is yes.
Guess what? The Phantom of the Opera is not operating anymore. Like, obviously because of COVID, but after that they like stopped. Not gonna do it again.
Oh, thank God, I got my wish.
London.
Oh,
I feel like I
Fires at the
personally
Opera
did this.
House.
I actually released COVID just to bring down Phantom of the Opera.
You would.
All the
too.
hundreds of thousands of
Knew
people who
it.
died are collateral damage for
knew
what I
it.
want.
Where were the conspiracy theories about you creating COVID?
That's the reason I'm so good.
Benji,
Maybe
what's the
what about-
question? What's the question? I'm curious.
Alright, which side of the face is the Phantom's mask on? Go.
Right.
Left.
Hang on. It's not on a side, isn't it?
No, it's,
No,
like,
no,
it's
it is.
half his face. What are you talking about? It's
I
like
was thinking it was like this way, but no.
no.
It's the
it's-
left
it's-
side.
Oh yeah.
Shit, no it's not.
It was the right. I was
What?
right.
I can
the
actually hear
right?
my roommate call that one out.
Yeah.
Ah,
Thank you,
the
Peter.
right.
Thanks, Peter. Damn it, I was wrong. This is unheard of.
Alright,
Mm.
here's a
Unspeakable.
question that we should all know.
Get
Which of
right?
these celebrities has never appeared on Broadway? Nick Jonas, Kate Hudson, Ariana Grande, Lance Bass.
I have no idea who
Is
Lance
it
Bass
Ariana
is.
Grande or Nick Jonas?
I'm pretty sure Nick Jonas
No,
has.
Nick Jonas was in Les Mis. He played,
Okay.
They'll fucking take anyone.
No, I remember because he was in the 25th anniversary of Les Mis.
But I feel like Ariana could potentially.
Yeah.
Was she in Mean Girls?
Yeah, I could see her in that role. I actually think it's Kate Hudson.
I mean, who's the other dude?
True. Can Kate Hudson sing?
Lance Bass.
I think so.
I feel like if I look up Lance Bass right now,
I feel
I'll
like
get
I've heard
the
of
answer
Kate
to my
Hudson being
question.
on Broadway before.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't know who Lance Bass is.
Do
Okay,
we want to go
let's-
Kate Hudson then?
Let's go Kate Hudson.
Alright.
Alright.
We're correct. She has never played. Let's look up Lance Bass though.
Yay! Who's
There we
Lance
go.
Bass?
He's an American singer, dancer, and actor.
Okay.
Fuck that. What's he been in?
Triple threat.
Mm.
Wait. He was on Dancing in the Stars, but more importantly, he was in the 2001 movie On the Line.
I never know that movie, but sure.
No, neither do
So
I.
what was Ariana Grande in? Was she in Mean Girls or Bring It On? Or Legally Blonde, perhaps?
That's Lauren pouring a drink, by the way.
Not just taking a pee.
She started her career in Broadway.
Really?
Yeah, in the musical 13.
13. I don't
Yeah.
know that one, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because she sang before she acted.
Nice.
Finish this lyric. Here, take my Kleenex and wipe that lipstick off, mascara away, lipstick away, mascara off.
I don't know.
Lipstick?
Are we going away or off, Lauren?
Away?
Take
Lipstick.
my Kleenex and wipe that lipstick away. Take my Kleenex and wipe that lipstick off.
Oh, correct.
Off.
Which one?
It's
Away.
the lyric comes from Suddenly Seymour, Little Shop of Horrors. Oh, how did I not get that? That's like the best song in that whole.
What's the answer?
Lipstick
Yeah,
away.
lipstick away. You're correct.
Oh,
What
I
I-
didn't
what I-
give you an answer.
What I said.
Alright, cool.
Okay, so now this one is like a picture, but instead of me showing you the picture,
Of course.
which would be a lot more easier
Of course.
and a lot less fun,
Oh no.
I'm going to describe it to you.
Of course. And really badly describe it?
Yeah.
You're like, this is a
So
stick
yeah,
figure.
basically you guess the.
Can you
the
just draw
Broadway
it for
performance. I'm not going to draw it.
That would
I'm
be
a
even
bad
better.
drawer, but I feel like I
Exactly.
can describe this.
Alright.
So so there's a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a full helicopter. It's got its turbines going. You guys can guess the performance from there, right? There's like an American troop hanging out of it, and there's a gate and a bunch of reporters in front of it. He looks like he's singing. Take it away, guys.
Something to do with the singing soldier.
Did
Do
they
you want to know the choices?
Did they do like a musical version of Apocalypse Now?
You're close.
Oh no.
You're close. You're definitely in the ballpark of the same war and the same country.
Oh good.
What's the war?
What are the choices?
Vietnam.
What are the choices?
In fact, this scene is sort of showing one of the more famous moments of the Vietnam War.
Is it Hair? Does Hair have a war scene? I haven't seen Hair, but
No.
Is it the
Okay.
Sapphires?
No? Would you like to hear the options that are available to you?
yes,
Please.
please.
Okay, we have the South Pacific, Miss
South
Saigon,
Pacific.
Kiss Me, Kate,
Ooh.
or Bright Star.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's. Hang on.
I
South
don't know
Pacific?
any. South Pacific? I don't know any.
I'm
My
gonna
goodness.
guess South
See,
Pacific.
the reason I wanted to describe this picture was because I thought if I showed you the picture,
I don't know any of them.
then it would be way too easy.
Oh.
South Pacific. It was Miss Saigon.
Oh, that was gonna be my second guess.
I've heard
But I
of
thought the
Miss Saigon.
picture was like a chick with an umbrella. Like an
Well,
Asian.
yeah, but this is
looking
like just a
lady.
quick snap of one of the more famous scenes.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh,
God.
it's a scene. It's not the musical poster.
Now, I swear to God, after me talking about it like last week, and you two being experts on this, if you don't get this question right,
What did you?
how
talk
many
about?
Tony Awards did the original production of Broadway's Hamilton win?
Shit.
None, but it was
Ew.
nominated for a bunch.
Your
Yes.
choices are 8, 11, 10, or 12.
Oh.
So I want to clarify what I said last week, which was it did get like the most amount of nominations,
But it didn't.
but it hasn't
win
got the
awards.
most amount of awards.
Oh, so it did actually get awards.
Yes.
8?
I think it's 11.
11. Yeah, I'm gonna go 11 too, actually.
Correct.
Oh shit.
Yee.
Yes. Including the lead got one.
Lin-Manuel Miranda or...
I'm going to call him Alexander Hamilton because that's what he's going to be known
Okay, Lin-Manuel
for
Miranda.
the rest of his life.
Okay.
Did he get, like, an award for composing it?
This
Composition,
man
whatever you
always,
call it?
have you noticed he looks tired no matter where you see him?
Yeah, but
He
that's
looks
everyone.
tiny
He
too.
needs some sleep.
I look tired all
He's
the
working
time.
too hard on Hamilton. Let him sleep through the rest of the day and just wake him up 5 minutes before the show.
That's a good idea.
Because that's what we do with you.
That's what we did with me, actually.
Oh boy.
I had a good nap.
Okay. Which one of these is considered not bad luck in the theatre community? Saying Macbeth in a theatre? Saying good luck? Not leaving a ghost light on in an empty theatre? Not saying hi to the ghosts in the theatre?
This question, not which is considered not bad luck.
Not bad luck.
Not saying hi to the ghosts.
Saying hi to the ghost?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's pretty easy.
Yeah. What's a
no,
ghost
it's the ghost light.
It's like a small little light that's in the sort of, yeah, fuck it, whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Leave a light on in the theatre, there we go.
Okay. For the
What's
ghosts.
the answer?
Oh.
It's
Oh.
saying.
Not saying hi to the ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh. I always say hi to the ghosts.
And finally, which actor has starred in all 4 of these musicals on Broadway? Anything Goes, Sweeney Todd, Gypsy, Evita. Bernadette Peters, sorry. Patty LeBoon, Angelica Lansbury, or Bette Midler.
Angelica Lansbury? I know she was in Sweeney Todd.
sure, why not?
Patty LeBoon.
Oh, no.
Why,
Don't really,
Patty?
can't
Why?
really remember her from me.
Don't know.
I must
So we have another test here,
No.
but the fun of this one is, guys, is
Yeah.
that we don't know the answer straight away. So people listening
Isn't-
to this can
isn't
freak out,
that
when we get something wrong, because we're just going to have to keep moving on and find out at the end.
isn't that what it? Oh, okay. So we don't find it out after we answer the question because usually you don't know the answer straight away when you're.
Yeah,
You know
don't worry.
what? It's okay.
In Les Mis, how many main characters are still alive at the end? There was like 38 of them.
Oh dear, you should know.
2.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 or 3.
Marius.
We go 2? Want to go 2? Okay, we'll go 2. In The Phantom of the Opera, who was the egotistical diva that
Carlotta.
was terrorized by the
Carlotta.
Phantom?
Carlotta.
Carlotta.
Yeah,
You weren't supposed to tell us the
some bitch. Because some of these are multiple choice, and I was like going to go through them, but yeah, you got that.
If we know it, we know it.
We know it. Yeah.
Don't
Who was
mess
the
with me.
original Kim in Miss Saigon?
That person you said before.
She's not on the list.
Can you give us the list?
Leah Salonga. Oh, why am I the one who has to read out names? Verilyn Castelin, Sarah Brightman, Keho Sim Malanda.
Well, Sarah Brightman was in Phantom, so I doubt it's her.
I'm gonna say Keho or the first person.
I know, I don't want to sound racist, but that does sound like a Vietnamese name.
That's what I was thinking.
And if I was gonna,
Like,
if I was
they
gonna cast,
typecast it back
I
then.
think we've already talked about this last week.
Do we want
And
to
if
go
it
with
wasn't, it should
Keho?
have been.
Dear.
Yeah, whatever Lauren says. I don't know.
Yeah, beautiful. In Cats, who was the jealous-selling choice?
Memories all alone in
We have
the moonlight.
Dementor, Jemadiah, Jezebel, Jelly Lorum.
Say it again.
Oh, for God. I
Sorry.
just got through them.
I know. It's been a while since-
Dementa, Gemini, Jezebella, Jelly Lurman.
Jezebella?
Is it Jezebella?
Yeah, well
I haven't
hopefully it
wa-
will be.
Watch Cats that far through to know the answer.
I've seen the musical, but it was a while ago and I hated it. As
Okay,
I've previously stated.
Yeah. Alright, let's go with Jezebella.
True or false? In Follies, a musical we've no doubt all seen.
Sure.
All four
What's it
main
called?
characters end up staying with the person to whom they were married. It's
I'm gonna-
Broadway.
False?
I'm gonna say no.
It's Broadway. No, of course not.
Oh, actually, I do know this one. What is the full name of the title character in Annie Get Your Gun?
Is it Annie?
That's her start name. What's her last name?
I don't know. Annie Annieson?
Annie, son.
Yeah.
We'll see what comes up. Is there an actual plot in the shows Fosse and the Smoky Joe's Cafe?
Is there an actual plot? Is that the
If
question?
they're asking the question, I'm going to say no.
I'm so lost, but I'm gonna say no.
Would you want me to read the question again?
Sure.
Sure.
Is there an actual plot in the shows Fosse and Smoky Joe's Cafe?
Yeah, repeating the question doesn't really help.
They're two separate shows, is that?
Yeah.
Is that what?
Yeah, they're two separate shows.
And they're asking
Well-
if there's an actual plot in either.
Yeah,
one.
if there's a plot line.
I don't think
I'm gonna say yes. There's a plot in one, but not
Okay.
both.
yeah, sure, whatever Lauren said.
Well, it's either yes or no for both.
Oh,
No for
No.
both.
Okay. 17 dancers were auditioning for a forthcoming Broadway show in A Chorus Line. Of the 17, how many made the actual final cut?
17.
Lauren.
I haven't seen a chorus line, but I would assume they'd need at least 17 dancers.
All right, well, yeah, logically, like if you're doing a Broadway show, you want as many dancers as you could.
But I don't really know what the storyline of the chorus line is.
Ah, who cares? It's not important.
I'm gonna
We've already
guess
worked out you don't need
yes,
the story.
17.
True or false? Ada dies in Ada.
Yes, that's true.
That's
Yes.
true? She dies? What does she do?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she dies.
Alright.
I like your confidence.
Thank
Which
you.
musical holds the record for the longest running Broadway musical in the 20th century up to and including the year 2000?
Phantom of the
Cats,
Opera?
Les Mis, A Chorus Line, or Phantom of the Opera?
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah. Now we got our beautiful answers.
Hey.
Oh shit.
Let's see how we did, guys.
Did you write down our answers as we went?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll bring them up.
Mm.
Oh good.
Okay, we got the Les Mis question wrong. It was 4 people who survived at the end.
Oh.
Wait, who? There's Marius, Cosette, who are the other two?
Does the little boy survive?
Cosette, Marius, and the Fianders?
Oh, fucking yeah, the Thenardiers, the
The
couple.
Fenadiers. That's who it was,
Oh,
dear.
they actually
Fenadiers.
did survive.
Ah,
I thought
God,
that's
haven't you
really
watched
true.
it?
several times.
Yeah.
We got our Miss Saigon question wrong.
Oh,
Apparently it was
what?
Lee Sonic whatever the fuck her name is.
Mm.
And if she's listening.
Why you do this?
Okay, so in Annie Get Your Gun, it was Annie Oakley. Yeah, not Annie Anderson.
Oh, we tried.
17 dancers, it was 8 who made the final cut. And which musical holds the record for the longest running Broadway musical of the 20th century?
Phantom.
Cats.
Oh. So we got none right.
We got 4 out of 10.
Aww. Go us.
But if it makes you any feel better, the
Anything.
average score for this quiz is 6 out of 10.
Oh,
Wow,
good.
we did pretty good then.
Yeah. So, no, well, I mean, we did worse than the average.
We're just below average though.
Story
Couple
of
points
my
below
life.
average. That is the story of our lives.
Yeah, just below average.
Speak for yourself.
Oh.
tired and I woke in a sweat when I called out your name. And I wonder if you're somewhere doing the same, or am I just a self-deprecating, obsessive piece of shit? I apologize for my language. Sometimes I'm a bit over the top in the morning when I get out of bed. I am tired, I'm hungry, I'm all out of breath.
So this is You Can't Rewrite Theatre, and this week we're looking at Macbeth. Now, you guys know the story of Macbeth? Dia, take it away.
So pretty much it's the story of a Scottish lord who finds 3 witches in the forest who say that he'll be king.
What's his name?
Macbeth.
Were the witches hot?
Well, sure, why not?
You know, I played one of the witches.
Really?
For real?
Yes.
I love
Yes,
that.
I actually did in a performance of Macbeth. I played one of the witches. But yes, continue.
And his wife, Lady Macbeth, pretty much forces him, and it's fate writing itself essentially.
That's debatable.
Well, sure. Well, you asked
Power
my
of
opinion.
persuasion.
No, I asked you to recount the story.
And pretty much Macbeth becomes this tyrant and people hate him, and so then he's taken over and killed.
And for the record, I think that Lady Macbeth did drive him to do it.
Out I say.
But, like, you know,
Yeah.
he's still, as a character, he still has agency over his actions.
He could have said no.
Yeah.
He could have said no.
But anyway, this is an old Shakespearean play, and as we know, nothing old is good. So, we have taken it upon ourselves to make this classic better. So guys, how did we find rewriting Macbeth?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's been rewritten to death itself.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah, I mean, I did my typical thing, but yeah.
But yeah, it's sort of interesting with Shakespeare. Like, a lot of the stories have been done again and again. You know, I was listening to a podcast talking about how the Lion King is Hamlet.
Yeah, it is.
A common thing.
To be or not to be.
And you know, the Godfather can be seen as King Titus.
Fate's returning.
No, King Lear. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Shakespeare's a classic, and his stories can be translated because
Taming of the Shrew is 10 things I hate about you.
10 Things I Hate About You is Taming of the Shrew. Yeah.
She's the Man is what's it called?
As You Like
Much
It?
to do about nothing.
Or Much
No,
Ado?
as you like it. Much ado about nothing. That's another one. Yeah.
But anyway, the thing about Shakespeare is it's very old and very boring, and it's very hard to read.
He's not old and boring and hard to read. You're just not.
Old.
You're just
boring.
not intelligent.
Yeah, you don't
Oh, I
dig
know
enough.
that. So we've taken upon ourselves to rewrite it to make it more contemporary. Let's put it that way. And I will start off by reading my version of Macbeth.
Yes.
Now, my version happens in a very contemporary time, the American Southwest. That's right, we're going back there again, guys. And I think that Macbeth is a very complex character, and there is no other character that is more complex than a southern woman who is racist.
Okay.
Love it.
So my story has Beth. She is now I get that. That's for the scholars because she's a woman.
Hello.
Beth rather than Macbeth. Yeah. Yeah. Beth and another teacher are coming into class after a hunting trip on the weekend. The preschoolers all come around in front of them, and two of them come up and go, my parents have been talking. Her parents are a part of the PTA, and they're like, listen, they're like, you're gonna get a promotion by the end of the day. And the other preschool is like, and also my dad said that one day you'll be principal of the school. So that's really good, and
They're the
she's
witches.
wondering she's wondering why did this sort of come apart, and it's because over the hunting trip, a member of another preschool had an unfortunate accident where he was shot 6 times in the head, and now she's going to be taking his sort of place.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so obviously Beth is very happy about the news. You know? So she rings her husband, Billy Ray,
Yo, Billy.
and tells him the lovely news. And Billy Ray's like, why don't you invite the principal over, and we'll talk and maybe have a bit of a hunting trip afterwards. She's like, well, I'm going to be principal one day. I don't need to necessarily take her out on a hunting trip tonight. He's like, yeah, but you're already going to be principal one day, so why not, hurry it up? Maybe there'll be an unfortunate accident on the hunting trip. Now, I've taken the liberty, because this, of course, is rewriting theatre, of rewriting a scene, and just sort of putting it in my frame, my sort of area of this play. So I was wondering, Dia, if you could play the principal,
Sure.
and Lauren, if you could play Beth, and I'll just set the scene. So Beth has come home, and she's relaxed a little bit. Right? She's got her mind in place about what she's going to do, and the principal shows up for dinner. Take it away, guys.
What's she wearing, Benny? That's the best part.
The principal, I'll read the one italic that we actually have in this. The principal comes for dinner wearing a Make America Great Again hat and a Confederacy dress.
Some iced tea?
Thank you, Beth. I like what you're doing with these kids. Brings me to tears when I think of all the children you've touched. With lessons on the war of northern aggression and how the Confederacy fought for states' rights. I'm thinking in a couple of years I might retire. Things are looking up for good, humble southern folks like us.
Yes, ma'am. It's great to see Southern finally rising again.
And hopefully it will continue to rise. A toast to Trump 2020. So when I retire, I want you to take over as principal of this here preschool.
It would be my honor. You would leave big shoes to fill.
Well, with your values, I'm sure you'll fill them. I knew you were the right person as soon as I heard you campaigning so hard against bringing prey back into schools.
Well, I feel that preschoolers need to learn good Southern values. You know, the liberal states, they actually let immigrants live in houses.
Not to mention what have they done to marriage.
Very true. So what will you do when you retire?
Well, I'm hoping to become Secretary of Education for our great progressive state of Alabama.
When you retire, the school will be in good hands. I swear to you, each morning, every child will reaffirm their allegiance to the flag and our great President Trump.
Beth, you're what this country needs. Remember, don't be too hard on the little ones. I always found time to let them watch Birth of a Nation. Well, I must be off. Oh, could you pass me my white hood? I have a meeting to go to after this.
Actually, after your meeting, perhaps you would like to go for a midnight hunt.
Well, it is our God-given right to own and fire guns. I will join you for a midnight hunt.
Hunt.
So we could take a lot away from that scene.
I suck at accents. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to any
Me
Southern
too.
Americans.
I am not sorry at all.
So obviously this character is a stereotypical Southern person. Believes in guns, murder, God and segregation. Plus, doesn't believe in evolution and, always means that you have to pledge allegiance to the flag.
God bless America.
Yeah. So that's every Southern person ever.
Ooh-wee.
As I said, a very realistic interpretation of a person from the South of the United States. So on this hunting trip, there is actually a bizarre accident where the principal is shot 27 times in the face.
Oh, whoops.
The police investigate it and declare it as an accident because Americans have the Second Amendment right, and that's given by God, and they are allowed to fire guns and hunt. So there's no crime committed there. Beth becomes the principal of the preschool. Her first action is to change the book list to make sure that every person 2 to age 4 has a Bible. She also makes new classes to the curriculum. Adds things such as Bible study, the history of states' rights, the myth of slavery, gun shooting, and of course home economics for female students.
Yay.
Oh.
Not to mention, she probably brings back like segregation. Right? She's a progressive Southern woman. But all was not well, because Beth starts feeling guilty about what happened during the hunting trip, and even though she knows that she had no problems, or knows that nothing she did was illegal, because people get killed on hunting trips all the time because it's their God-given right to have their Second Amendment. Yes. During a staff meeting, she sees the old principal wandering through the halls. Terrified, she rings her husband Billy Ray, but as it turns out, Billy Ray was also suffering from some guilt and has decided to go on a solo hunting trip by himself. Turns out there was an accident at the hunting trip, and now Billy Ray is dead.
Oh.
Oh, poor Billy Ray.
Beth now goes completely insane and reinstalls corporal punishment in the preschool as a way to teach the children. The government sent down another woman named Duff to take over the preschool. Beth says she's not going to take this lying down, and she proposes a fight. She calls her lawyer, and they have like one of those old-timey Southern lawyering, the old courtroom scenes, like in Inherent the Wind. It's like that.
Oh dear.
But it goes on, it turns to be very expensive. Duff says that she has a different idea. Because they're two normal Southern people, why don't they go on a hunting trip and talk out all their problems?
Another one.
Beth agrees, but unfortunately there is a tragic accident as Beth is shot in the back 16 times.
Again.
So what do we feel of this more Southern more American interpretation of Macbeth?
I dig it. I very much dig it. I never realized Americans went on so many hunting trips.
I actually based that off like a real story. Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
So Dick Cheney, the former vice president of the United States, and just flat out murdered a guy on a hunting trip.
Oh shit.
Allegedly. Allegedly. But yeah, shot a guy, it was ruled an accident. So it is a proud tradition. Okay, Lauren,
Martin,
where are you going to take us this week?
You want to guess?
Is it Europe?
No.
It's going to be space.
It's
No.
space. It's space Europe. Space Europe.
I'm
'Cause right
following.
now,
I'm following Benny's lead and going to America.
Oh.
Oh.
So we're
Is it
going
the South?
back to California in the late 1960s. And we're going to have Macbeth meets Charles Manson.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I do not take
Fertile
any credit
grounds.
of accuracy because it's definitely not historically accurate. But there is a lot of blood and gore. So
What is accuracy,
Repeat
though?
yourself.
Are you feeling okay, Lauren?
went in a completely different direction than I thought. I
Yeah.
started writing and then I went a different direction and then I went a different direction again. So
Shit.
we shall
Have
see.
you become one of Manson's followers, Lauren?
That's exactly what happened. I was just enlightened about how great Charles Manson is and was. And I was just so angered that he was murdered. He didn't murder anyone. He's an innocent man.
Oh god.
And so this is my tribute to him.
We have a lot of very interesting opinions in this segment all of a sudden today.
I'm really sorry. Oh god.
Alrighty, so Macbeth is a young and handsome guitarist in the band Scottish Play, and his bandmates are Duncan, the lead singer, and Banquo, the drummer. After one of their gigs, Macbeth goes out to meet some of their band's fans, and among them are the witches, 3 women who claim to see the future. Now, the witches prophesy that Macbeth will break away from Scottish Play and become a member of their rival band, the Thane of Cawdor, and eventually become king of the Californian music scene.
If I can just say, from what I've read of Manson, this probably really did happen.
They also prophesy that Banquo will father a line of kings, although Banquo will never be one himself. So just a bit of context, a music king in my world is just someone who's very powerful in the music industry, and they choose who's successful and who's not, and they get lots of money and become very rich. So Macbeth is skeptical of the prospect of becoming king over the Californian music scene, despite his dreams of fame and fortune and the power that would come with such a title. But he just shrugs it off. His girlfriend and groupie, Lady Macbeth, she does not share his uncertainty and suggests that Macbeth stays with her father, Charles Manson, until the first prophecy comes true. So Macbeth joins the Manson family at their ranch, laying low for the next month. During this time, Macbeth becomes fond of Manson, often sitting around a campfire late at night, listening to Manson talk of helter-skelter, the coming apocalypse, and how the Manson family are going to bring about this apocalypse.
I love how you're really working in all these details here. Yeah.
Thank you. So when Macbeth doesn't show up to rehearsals with Scottish Play, his bandmates vote to kick him out of the band if they don't hear anything from him. But one of the members, Duncan, he runs into Lady Macbeth at a bar and he asks her about Macbeth. She tells him that Macbeth has decided to stay with her father at their ranch. So Duncan calls Banquo and convinces him to go to the ranch with him to find Macbeth. And Macbeth fights with them and quits the band.
It would be great if, like, these guys were like the Rolling Stones or something. Like, Duncan is just all of a sudden Mick Jagger. The Beach Boys.
Or the Beatles. I had an interesting time doing my research about Manson and his
Lady
different
Macbeth
interpretations
is
of the Beatles lyrics. It was a good time. So realizing that half of the first prophecy has come true, Macbeth seeks Lady Macbeth's help to join Scottish Play's rivals, the Thane of Cawdor. Conveniently, Lady Macbeth is an old friend of the lead singer of the Thane of Cawdor, and so she introduces him to Macbeth. The pair get along, and Macbeth is invited to join the band, fulfilling the witch's first prophecy that Macbeth will break away from Scottish Play and become a member of the Thane of Cawdor. Satisfied with her boyfriend's success, Lady Macbeth shares the witch's prophecy with her father, seeking to make Macbeth king of the Californian music scene and to prevent Banquo from fathering a line of music kings. Manson has grown to love Macbeth just like a son and proposes that the Manson family kill both Gary Hansen, the current king of the Californian music scene, and Banquo to start the apocalypse and make Macbeth king of the music scene. That night, Lady Macbeth convinces Macbeth to invite Hansen to dinner at the ranch. Hansen gets pretty drunk and decides to stay the night at the ranch. When he's asleep, Manson leads family members Mary, Susan and Bobby into Hansen's room. He slits Hansen's throat and convinces them to make it look like a suicide.
Ah, just that Californian hospitality, am I right?
Yeah. The next morning, Macbeth reports Hansen's suicide and is crowned king in his place. The second prophecy is fulfilled.
Just the idea. How do you do it? Slit his throat from ear to ear. Man, that's a heavy pace of suicide right there, yeah.
The Manson family hunt down Banquo and kill him, this time making it clear that it was them and not a suicide, leaving the message, "Beware of Macbeth, fear Manson," written in Banquo's blood. Assuming the prophecy regarding Banquo is now fulfilled, Macbeth visits the witches to thank them for his success, but is presented with a further prophecy. He must beware of Banquo's wife. Confused by this new prophecy, Macbeth visits Banquo's wife, pretending to console her of the loss of her husband, when actually he's trying to figure out why he should beware of her. He finds out that she's pregnant and will give birth to a son in a couple of days, fulfilling the prophecy that Banquo would father a line of kings. Fearful of Banquo's unborn child, Macbeth rushes to the Manson ranch, where the Manson family have prepared a celebratory feast. But Macbeth is too worried about the child that's soon to be born and will take his title as king, so he tells Charles about the child.
Okay, so Banquo is supposed to be Roman Polanski in this, I would imagine? Because I'm just gonna say, maybe if the Mansons had killed Roman Polanski, it wouldn't have been such a bad thing.
Maybe. I was
You know?
thinking more.
I mean, there are, like, years of allegations surrounding Roman Polanski
Yeah.
and Jack Nicholson.
I was thinking of Sharon Tate when I was writing about the pregnancy of Banquo's wife. Charles tells Macbeth that he must kill Banquo's wife before she gives birth, but when Macbeth refuses, Charles does the deed himself, taking Bobby, Susan, and Mary with him. Charles stabs Banquo's wife 20 times in the stomach, ensuring the fetus will not be born. He then gets Bobby to slit her throat and write "Helter Skelter has come" on the wall in her blood. And finally, Susan takes a photo of Charles, posing with the body to show Macbeth as proof of his safety from Banquo's line.
So I'm thinking a kids' film, yeah?
Yeah, rated G all the way. The next morning, Macbeth wakes to Charles boasting about killing Banquo's wife. Disgusted, Macbeth attempts to leave the ranch, but Manson stops him, showing him the photo and claiming that Macbeth wanted them to do it, and if he tells anyone, he'll become their next victim. Despite his threats, Macbeth attempts to fight back and leave the ranch to return to his old life of rock and roll. Charles and the rest of the Manson family surround him, bearing weapons intent on harming him. Charles charges at Macbeth. Macbeth falls to his knees, with his hands in surrender. Charles stabs Macbeth, and the family join in, stabbing him repeatedly, until Charles commands them to stop. Charles then grabs Macbeth by the hair. He beheads him, keeping his head as a trophy. This whole time, Lady Macbeth has been absent from the ranch, and she arrives back to see Charles holding Macbeth's head in his hands. Overwhelmed with guilt and sorrow, she cannot live without Macbeth and kills herself. Manson turns to the remaining family members and tells anyone who's fearful of the consequences of following him to turn back now, and only Mary turns back. This is the end.
Very nice. I like the uplifting ending.
I know, right?
Just like the play, really. Oh, it's good.
The play has an uplifting ending.
And what's
We're
that?
all
get a new
going to
king.
die one day.
Oh, yeah, true. That is a positive.
That's like what millennials hope for.
Oh, save us from the pain of existence, right?
The sweet release of death.
So I rewrote Macbeth in a sort of similar sense with this whole Americana idea.
I'm noticing a theme tonight, guys.
Yeah, kind of similar. I kind of went with a sort of faux biography set in political America. So imagine this, right? You're in your hotel, you're having a foursome with these three beautiful women, and then all of a sudden they start hissing and saying, "Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble, in the cauldron boil and bake, fill it of a fenny snake."
Is this a Ken Burns documentary?
And they turn to you and they say, "You will be president."
Oh.
And you think these bitches are nuts. Anyway, you listen
Can
to
Ivanka
them.
be the first lady is the first question I'm going to ask.
Well, I mean, she is the daughter, so yes, he says he will marry his daughter. Anyway, so he goes to his daughter actually, and says, "I just had a foursome with these prostitutes," and she's like, "Dad, no, don't tell people that. That's bad."
No, Dad, no. I'm not going to join again.
Okay.
Okay?
And he
We're
says,
done. I have Jared now.
Hey, oh god. And he says that, they told me that I'd be president. And Ivanka starts thinking, she's like, "This isn't a bad idea. I tell you what, why don't you go and hang out with Ted Cruz?" And Trump's like, "Okay." Anyway, so they're friends.
I like how we're just dropping it now. We're just, this is Trump.
Stuff it. Anyway, so Trump and Ted Cruz are walking around, let's just say Alabama, and Ted Cruz is talking about his political campaign and yada yada yada.
Yeah, so I don't trust women, and I never actually did pass high school.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, Trump gets the idea that maybe he could run for president, but he thinks that Ted Cruz is better than him because, he's bilingual and Trump can barely speak English. So Trump decides to shoot him, as is his God-given right as an American. Anyway, Trump then takes over Ted Cruz's campaign and is elected president. Now, Trump has a lot of friends in the Oval Office, sort of cabinet ministers, yada yada yada. Anyway, he decides to have them all killed. And it's completely fine. He goes about thinking that, he's invincible, no one can touch him, because anyone who does touch him dies or gets fired.
Is it like almost like you get appointed to a cabinet position and then you get killed like a week later?
Pretty much. Anyway, so then it's the next election after 4 years, and Trump hears that this new delegate, let's call him Bernie Sanders, is coming up. And, he's old, and he remembers the prostitute saying that an old one would kill him and take his place. Anyway, Trump's freaking out. He tells his daughter, who he's having sex with at the time, and she...
So the deal is off, like they had to have sex again, yeah?
Apparently so. I don't write the rules, okay?
Okay.
Anyway, she freaks out and kills herself. So at the debate, Trump is in tears because his daughter's died and everything's falling apart, and then all of a sudden Bernie Sanders takes out an arming sword, swings it at Trump, and kills him right there, and he's automatically elected president, as is the way in America, to have your God-given right to wield a sword.
It's a different type of debate.
It sounds more like
I'm going to give it one thumb up.
It sounds more like an Italian sort of parliament, but we'll go with it. So that's my Macbeth anyway. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed.
You know what I thought after I finished writing it and I was mucking around today? Yeah? I was like, The Purge. That'd be the perfect setting for Macbeth.
Not a bad idea, yeah.
Just run it like he's in a gang in The Purge. Hey you, do you like short films? Do you like two crazy people talking about short films? Then you'll love Out of the Can, presented by Wombat and Goose, airing 7:30 every Thursday on Channel 31. It features Wombat and Goose navigating the harsh seas of short films. They cover every genre, from drama to action to superheroes murdering entire families. And I think there was some sci-fi in there. There's probably some sci-fi in there. So yeah, if you love films and love comedy, check it out. That's Wombat and Goose present Out of the Can, 7:30 every Thursday on Channel 31.
It's time for Benji's Weird Theater.
Alright guys, this is Benji's Weird Theater, and this is a weird one to me, guys, because I reckon Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark is pretty well known. I don't think it's obscure or strange, but it's definitely something, and I love big catastrophes of performances. So I thought we could have a look at it. So in 1962, with the success of the Fantastic Four, Marvel editor and writer Stan Lee was thinking about casting new comics and making new sort of superheroes. He came up with the idea of Spider-Man because there was a surge of teen demand for comic books. He went to his publisher, and his publisher said, Stan, that's the worst idea I've ever heard of. First of all, people hate spiders, and you can't call a book Spider-Man. Secondly, he can't be a teenager. Teenagers can only be a sidekick. Spider-Man has, of course, gone on to become one of the most successful comics of all time, and possibly one of the most well-known characters. I would say, probably one of the most famous heroes of all time. Success has lent itself to film and television and other mediums. He had a very popular animated series in the 90s, plus a run of films that every time you think they're dead, another one comes out. Spider-Man Turn the Dark basically came from the success of the Sam Raimi film in the early 2000s. Its storyline follows closely to the original origin story of Spider-Man and the Sam Raimi sort of version, but sort of goes on its own way. Story is, Spider-Man follows nerdy teenager Peter Parker as he's bitten by a genetically altered spider. He discovers that he's obtained super strength web-slinging abilities depending on the version there. In the Sam Raimi versions, it's genetic, it comes out of him, but in other versions he makes it himself. and he has to battle his arch nemesis Norman Osborn, who is the father of his best friend, and takes on the alter ego, the Green Goblin. Peter's troubles begin to pile up because he loves women. It's always fucking Mary Jane in these ones. But eventually he comes out on top. So little notes about this performance first. U2 members Bono and Edge were brought in to write the music and lyrics for the original show. The show was directed by Julie Taymor after the producers showed up at her house with a bag of money and said, "We'll just give you no oversight. Do whatever the fuck you feel like." This is kind of true because she had done Disney's Lion King. It became the most successful show of all time, so whatever she touched at the time turned to gold. Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark therefore became the most expensive production in Broadway history with a budget of $75 million. It suffered really badly. What did we think of it? What did we think of this beautiful musical interpretation of Spider-Man?
So, funny thing, I couldn't watch the video, I couldn't listen to the audio, so I had a very sort of closed idea as to what the heck was going on. And so, so Julie Taymor is one of my favorite directors, film-wise, and, you know, U2, like, what? They're amazing, and, you know, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man film is one of my favorites. With those three things and all that money, how could they make something so unbelievably shit? What the heck? Like, I'm listening to it, and they're just like, we'll stand by for just a moment, and there's silence for 5 minutes, and they're like, okay, and we're back, and then 10 minutes later, like, stand by, and there's silence for like half an hour. I'm like, okay, so they've clearly, you know, fucked up. You know, good on them for still going, but you think after enough rehearsals, you wouldn't.
It was notorious for them having to pause the show mid scenes and just basically tell the audience that there's been a little bit of mistake. We have to give us 5 minutes.
I watched a video. Apparently, the guy who plays Spider-Man, there was the scene where he's trying to save MJ. The cord snapped and he like broke his neck or something.
Yeah,
like he fell into the pit.
Yeah,
people like saw that live.
Notorious for a lot of. I have something on here. I was gonna bring it a little bit, but yeah, there was a string of mishaps that plagued the production. Technical issues, technical glitches, injuries on set. I think even the woman who played Mary Jane actually was injured at one point. How? Now, see, 75. Everyone who's listening to this, 75 million, numerous injuries on set. How can this show be boring? It was.
Yeah, it looked good, but it didn't sound good.
Boring.
You know what frustrated me? Yeah. You could see the backstage crew moving the sets. I was like, that's not supposed to happen.
It's the same. It's a shame because like a lot of what they were doing was very technically advanced and did look great. Like for some reason they added in a sort of spider god, and she hangs around the story for a little bit.
That was interesting, but yeah,
I thought that was redundant. You know, this show was already long enough. You don't need to add more scenes. But like every time when they brought her in and brought in her sort of followers, it looked amazing.
Yeah, that's what I liked, that she looked amazing, that bit. When Peter first started to realize he had the Spidey powers, there was a scene where he's like bouncing off the walls, and you could literally see the crew people holding those walls, and they were like literally bouncing. I'm like, how do you have a budget that big and yet you have this kind of thing that just looks really tacky?
Yeah, so the expectation is different for it. It's because like if I saw like an amateur production,
fair enough,
a school, and there were stagehands and they were holding up the set while Spider-Man was jumping around,
you could pass.
That's not art. Accept that. But with this sort of budget and this sort of professionalism, I would expect, to cover it up a little bit better.
What was with the narrators as well? Like they're reading a comic book or something. They sounded so painful. Like I hated them both. Like, and like
They were
sexism-
almost as shit as us.
Oh,
Almost.
No, it's just like it is so tacky and corny. Like I know Spider-Man is a bit tacky and corny, but like not to that level. And I just like Spider-Man. Who came up with the idea that let's make Spider-Man a musical? I mean, Sony owns the rights, right? So
Yeah.
there would be Sony.
I
What the fuck, Sony?
I haven't done any research into that aspect, but I would imagine it was probably the same line of thinking of the Lion King. Like, you know,
Yeah, but the Lion
like let's
King-
give it a go and see what, like, you know, for the idea of art.
Yeah, but the thing with the Lion King,
Is that it is a musical?
it's already a musical.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Like Spider-Man is a comic book, and it's like
I think it was more based off the Sam Raimi film than from what I saw.
well, even that's
yeah.
not a musical film. It's a sad film. It's like, come on, there are so many
Yeah.
other films you could make into a musical for that kind of budget. Like, why?
Did it have
Maybe
fans
Tamor
at the
wanted
time?
to challenge herself.
Like, Spider-Man was quite popular back in the day. Was when
Still
this was
is.
made as a musical, were there heaps of Spider-Man fans that were wanting to see it?
Yeah, the Sam Raimi film, like, a lot of people, like, especially younger people that don't understand how sort of big that was. You know,
I remember,
we didn't have,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember the film was massive. But
Yeah, it was like the first ever sort of, well, I mean, apart from, like, it'd been years since Batman, and it was sort of like this was a very high-budgeted adult approach to the character.
oh yeah, the first proper superhero film. Yeah.
I hated it.
I mean, now they've got Shrek the musical as well. It's just like.
Yeah, but that once again is sort of more
Shrek's
musically
kind of, yeah, already
inclined.
I guess I just think this musical has paved the way for shit musicals.
I have a note here that I like. I think Mary Jane's song. I think Mary Jane's song about living in a broken home is the shittest song I've ever heard in my life.
I heard that. Yeah, it was like jumping between her and him, and I'm just like, well, this is painful. Like,
Yeah.
there's no.
It wasn't
feeling
done
in this.
well. Like, see, that setup looked really beautiful to look at, because I kind of like those things where it's split screen and something's happening on one side and one's the other. But when they were singing, I could barely understand what either of them was singing about.
That's a shame because the set was amazing.
Yeah.
I did like the bit when they would transition between sort of the outside world and the school by dropping the stage down like a web. I think that was amazing.
That is cool. I of course didn't see that.
Yeah. I also have like some notes here that are
Sorry.
just every Spider-Man film and every Spider-Man play. I'm supposed to believe this 6'4" muscular cutie is a nerd and not really liked by
so
anyone.
cute.
Yeah.
Toby Maguire, hello. He's not that attractive.
Yeah, but he's an asshole on set, so that was just life imitating art.
Is he? I heard he's really nice. He's friends with DiCaprio.
They are in. This is true. In Spider-Man, I think it was either 3 or 2, but there was a scene where like an extra has to like punch Tobey Maguire in the face. Yeah.
Oh no.
And he was sort of getting ready to do it, yeah, and the crew walked up to him and said, "We'll give you $100 if you actually punch him in the face."
Ooh. No, but what I
I
was
also have.
curious-
How come in every Spider-Man movie and every Spider-Man interpretation, the bullies are always in their mid-20s? It's Hollywood. This is New York. You can't hire a younger actor. Like, I mean, I know it would look weird with like an older sort of man, but
I don't
it's
know.
always.
I just. Who wants to work with kids? You know, who wants to give kids a chance?
That's true.
Legal mumbo jumbo you gotta do.
Yeah.
One
But
thing I've
no,
written here.
The first Spider-Man is still the best.
I've never really enjoyed any of them.
Yeah,
But oh no, I actually I liked number 3 with the Sandman. I thought he was a
Oh.
very good character.
Yeah, but I mean, out of the Spider-Man, you know, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, I think Tobey Maguire is the best.
Ooh.
But then again, like, Tom Holland is more similar to the comics, but...
I think he more matches the character better. Anyway, Lauren, what were you saying?
The wires that helped him fly, you could see them, and it was so irritating. Like, Usually, can you like hide that, or would you normally see that in a
I
normal
don't
show?
think they
anyway?
could have found a way. No,
But
I
there
think that's
was
something
one
you just have to.
when he
let
had
go.
the Spider-Man suit on. It was less obvious, but when he didn't, you could see the harness around him,
Yeah.
and that was, I don't know, that was irritating. I just feel
I
like
don't know,
being
if
a
I-
Broadway show with that kind of budget, surely there's some way you could hide
Yeah.
it a little bit better. Like,
know, but-
make it believable that he's jumping off the walls and not just swinging on a rope.
I don't know, if I had the choice of, like, I'm doing this production and we have a choice, like, you know, someone says, look, I got this harness, it's really big and it'll be seen, but it'll keep them safe, and I have a
Yeah.
choice of another harness that's might not work as well, I'm going to go with the one that can be seen.
Yeah.
You know, like fuck disbelief and all that.
But they did that,
I'd
and
rather
he
keep my actor
still
safe.
got hurt.
Yeah, but that's true as well, yeah.
Go
All
figure.
for nothing.
Yeah.
All for nothing.
One thing I love, and I think it just shows exactly what this production is there was a scene where Peter Parker and Mary Jane are walking and talking,
Yeah.
and they have them on a treadmill to give the effect of them walking down the street. This is only used once. You know, it would have been entirely. You'd have to cut the stage out.
I didn't know they were
put
walking
it
on a
in.
treadmill, but watching that, I was like, if you're gonna
Yeah.
walk, like at least walk rather than look like you're walking on the spot.
Yeah,
Or like
But I
if you're
know,
gonna
like-
walk a little bit and then stop and chat or something. Like,
I just thought it was the
It
most perfect
was
euphemism, like
irritating.
unnecessarily unnecessary and expensive.
yeah, so there they used their budget for something that was just ineffective.
Guys,
Fucking
guys,
7.
this musical is essentially the musical of The Room. Like, it's The Room, you know? The film The Room, where they spent all this money on crap that you didn't need to. Like, oh, why can't we just shoot on the street? No, it's real Hollywood movie set. You know? Why can't we just have them walk? No, it's real Broadway.
Dear, you're wrong, because The Room is watchable.
Oh, oh. Well, you know what? I can't talk because I didn't actually
Yeah.
watch Spider-Man. I listened to it.
Every time I go to every time the wall's on, I'll watch it. Mm. Sorry, I meant every time The Room is on,
Yeah, I
I'll
was gonna say
watch it.
The
Yeah,
Wall. Isn't that by Pink Floyd?
there's a film
Yeah.
of The Wall.
Yeah. That's a good one. But,
I
Spider-Man.
I wanted to love this. Like, it's exactly what I love. It's, you know, hugely expensive, train wrecks of a production. And as bad as it was, I just couldn't, you know? I just couldn't bring myself to enjoy it. You know, and
Yeah.
I feel that if it was at least like The Room, where it was so bad it was enjoyable, it would be endearing to people.
Yeah,
But-
but it just wasn't. And like these professional like Broadway producers, you know, they don't have the leniency that like what's his name has.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I just wonder where it went wrong, because these actors, their performances weren't very good, but they've all gone on and done better things beforehand.
Really?
And even Tamor has like proven
'cause
that
their
she can be a
performances-
great director.
Yeah. Yeah, no, their performances sounded very hammy. Like
Yeah.
something you'd see in like a High School Musical or something. But no, Julie Taymor's fantastic. I mean, you know, we all have to make one shit show. I guess hers was just on epic proportions. Considering Lion King.
Yeah.
The higher you rise, the lower you fall.
Yeah, what do you reckon? Do you reckon it would have been she's made like a ton of money now off The Lion King and all that? Do you reckon it's easier to do a shit performance, like, you know, to do a shit show after you've done a big performance that's been widely successful and critically adored? Or is it better to do a shit one when you're really unknown and then, you know, sort of learn from it?
I guess, you know, well, like, in my film career, all my past things are shit shows, in my opinion. So, you know, it just, you can't really plan these
yeah.
things. You can't really plan these things.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess that maybe she just didn't have her heart in this like she did The Lion King.
Yeah,
But-
it is an interesting point though. Yeah, let's be fair. Our films compared to this are horrible. Like, our films are shit compared to this performance, compared to this show.
Hey, yeah, fuck stuff you. No, our films have a fucking good cast and coherent storyline, and aren't a corporate drooling hole. That's what Spider-Man is, a corporate drooling hole for Sony. Yeah, just so they could try and, keep the franchise. That's what they're doing. They're clinging on to Spider-Man because they know that it's starting to make money, and they don't care about it anymore. They're like, well, just do whatever, who gives a shit? Sure, it's a musical now. It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it was Reeve Carney who was the main, who played Spider-Man. And he has gone on to play Orpheus in Hadestown, sorry. He was also in Dorian Gray, and he also played Dorian Gray in Penny Dreadful. And I know my housemate was quite taken by him. So, he's not a bad actor. So, maybe it was just that, it was an off day for everyone for 8 months.
It just sounds like the producers are at fault. I mean, Julie Taymor was great. These actors, like you say, sound great. So, clearly they're at fault for thinking this was a good idea.
I guess too, if things kept just going wrong, after a while your heart just isn't in it when it's so bad. I don't know what their working environment was either, but if it was a bad working environment, then they probably just were just well, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah, the snowball effect.
Yeah. I have an idea as well that maybe, and I think it's something we've all sort of pointed out and sort of danced around here, it wasn't written well at all.
It wasn't written.
Yeah, and I don't know,
well,
if you think you're performing shit, you're going to try to make it as great as you can.
Yeah.
But you can't polish a turd.
I haven't seen any of the Spider-Man movies, and I found it easy to follow the storyline enough. The second half was a bit iffy.
Oh, yeah, wait, I'll quickly talk about this.
Yeah.
So they bring in the Sinister Six from the comics. I don't believe they've ever appeared in any of the films.
No.
And rather than just getting an actor to put on the suit and do their intro like that, they choose shitty 2006 graphics, from a game.
What?
And did that for 15 minutes.
They still had
of
them in
these
person
people
as well.
posing and all that. It was fucking travesty. It was hilarious.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine? You paid all this money, you're sitting there, and you're watching shitty 2006 graphics on a giant screen. It's fuck, man, couldn't they just, I don't know, get the actors to come out and dance a little bit?
No, that would cost money.
I will say one good point. The person who played Norman Osborn, amazing.
Who was it?
I've never been bored by anyone who's played Norman Osborn.
Oh, good.
And there was the song where he's singing about becoming the person and trying it on himself. I thought that was the standout song.
Is that the one you're going to play for us?
I'll play it at the end, yeah. I got to pick one.
I mean, it sounds like the only good one, right?
Yeah.
It carried a tune and a melody and didn't stop halfway through.
Yeah. But I do want to stress, for the listeners and all that, none of the people in this are bad actors. It just happened to be the one show where they all gave a bad performance.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it wasn't obviously bad and cringy acting. It was just average.
Maybe the recording we saw of it wasn't their best night. Because there are some people who generally do defend this performance, and maybe they saw a night where they were amazing and everything was on point and there was no screw ups. Statistically, probably didn't, but Lauren, what are you going to give this out of 10?
3.
Ooh. Stiff. Dia, what are you going to give it out of 10?
1.5.
Ooh, I really like the treadmill.
Are you serious?
I give it a whole point for that treadmill. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
We're being very generous, aren't we?
Oh. But no, every time we really hate on a performance, we always get people yelling at us.
Really?
Well,
And it is welcomed this time. Fight me. You sit down and watch this piece of shit.
Yes,
I love you all. I love all the actors that are in this, and I wish them the best.
It's all uphill from there, right?
Well, that'd be the end of our show. I have been joined by the lovely Lauren Haggard,
Hello, goodbye.
the lovely Dia Taylor.
A compliment.
Oh,
yeah.
Bye.
I've been your host, Benji Rag, and remember, you matter. Bye!
bye.
If you're looking for a night out on the town, you just found me. I'm a $65 million circus tragedy.